Turn pain to progression in every studio session. Turn pain to progression in every studio session. Turn pain to progression.
Welcome to episode number 4 of Pain to Progression with Regis, Arzu. Money management for the rest of us. Now, who's the rest of us? If you currently or have ever considered yourself a have-not, you are the rest of us. All right. So today we're going to talk about what to do with $1,200 to $2,400. You can find a lot of articles out there on what to do with $1,000, but today we are going to talk about specifically $1,200 to $2,400 and on. If this sounds specific, it's because it's the amount you're about to receive for the stimulus package set to start being dispersed in the middle of this month. Now, full disclosure, any of this information can change at a moment's notice as our government are still ironing some things out. Now, to be more specific, today I want to talk about who will be receiving this money and how much. Then I have some suggestions on what to do with the money, like determine your need versus your want, make sure your most important things are taken care of, pay debt off, specifically the highest payments, save, invest in stock, pay your taxes, buy insurance, and give to a church or a reputable nonprofit organization. Some of these I'll breeze through and some I'll spend more time to be more specific. So let's jump into it. So let's talk about who will be receiving the money. This is very high level, and I repeat, things can change very fast as our country continues to figure out the smaller details of the stimulus package. What we do know is the amount received will be based on your total income when you filed your 2019 or 2018 taxes. If you filed single and made less than $75,000 that year, you will receive up to $1,200. And if you file jointly and you make under $150,000, then you will receive around $2,500. In addition, you will receive $500 per child. You will receive the money the way you filed your taxes. So if you did your taxes electronically, then you will get your deposit electronically. And if you filed it paper-wise, then you will get the money in paper. Now, as a blanket statement, in these uncertain times, you need to ask yourself, every time you spend $1, is this a need or a want? You have no idea how long this will last and what will become of this economy. So every dollar is extremely important right now. Think about your priorities. So just think need versus want every time you're in front of the store and about to spend your money. With that in mind, your priorities come first. Shelter, food, and health are more important than anything. If you are struggling with any of the above due to layoffs or just limited income, please pay these things first with your money. Don't even think about anything else I may be talking about later on. Those are your priorities. You want to make sure your priorities are taken care of. Just keep your priorities first. For example, there's other stuff that you may want to spend your money on, like Pedialyte to stay hydrated if you get sick, if you need to buy masks, Clorox wipes, or hand sanitizer if you can find any outside. It's super rare, but this is what you want to spend your money on because priorities come first. Pay debt, specifically bills with high payments. So what I mean by that is the goal here is to have money in the bank just in case. And if you have bills with high monthly payments lingering around, then they need to be paid so you can take whatever extra money you're going to make after you pay that off and you can put that in the bank. For example, I had some medical bills that were totaling to up to $300 a month. Even though they were at 0% interest, $300 a month is a lot of money. So when I filed for my taxes this year, I made sure I paid them off. Now I have $300 extra that I can put into the bank or save or put wherever I need to do as far as my priorities. The next thing I want to talk about is to save. You'll be hearing me talk about saving a lot. So there's a few different options that you can do with this money when it comes to saving. And $1,200 or $2,400 is a lot of money. So one of the options that we can talk about is putting money to your retirement account. For example, a Roth IRA in a credit union, preferably, or a bank. So go to your local bank and just tell them about the Roth IRA and they're going to let you know what this account is. And you just put the money here and just let it grow based on retirement or just have it ready for you. Another thing you can do is put in an online savings account. There are high yield, or that means high interest, online savings accounts where you can just leave your money in case of an emergency to build your emergency fund. Currently, the average online account is 1.6% when banks are paying around 0.01%, which is not even 1%. I'll have a list of online banks from bankrates.com on my show notes. The other thing you could do is put money to school for your kids. What I mean by that is sign up for a 529 plan, which is a dedicated plan for your kid for college. You can go to your local credit union or bank and talk to them, and they'll explain this to you. Now, the only con with this is if you put money into this account, it has to go for college or schooling. So if your kid, when it gets older, decides they don't want to go to college, you either have to pass it on to another person that's going to go to college, or if you take it out, you will pay a high percentage of penalties to the government for this. Another thing you can do with the stimulus money is invest in stock. Now, once again, the most important thing I want you guys to take care of is your home, your food, and your health. Now, if you have extra money available and you can put it to the side for up to 10 years or so, I would highly recommend buying stock right now. It is the best time to buy stock, mainly because the values are very low. One of the things I'm doing is looking at the stock and seeing what its average or highest amount is and looking at the current price. And if I buy it at the low price, then when it gets to its average price, then I'm going to make that extra money. And specifically, I'm looking for stocks that are affected by COVID-19. So for example, like hotel stocks, they're super low. So if I was to buy it now at, let's say $10 a share, for example, and its average stock price is $40, then when it goes to 40, I'll make that $30 difference per stock, depending on how many stocks I buy. So some other things you can do with it, these I'll just kind of breeze by kind of fast, but I just want to talk about it. So another idea of something you can do is you can pay your taxes with this money. And I think the biggest, gotcha to the government would be taking their money and paying them money, owe them already with their own money. So that's an option of what you could do with the money. I would recommend, especially if you owe Uncle Sam money. Another thing is buying insurance. It's fairly expensive if you're not working, but through these hard times, you really don't know. You might end up in the hospital. If there's an insurance that works for you, if you're not under Medicaid right now, then I would buy some kind of insurance. And the last thing is, this package should ideally not be going to anyone that makes a large amount of money. So you shouldn't be in this situation. But if you find yourself with a check and you don't need it or want it, give it to someone that needs it. Donate it to your local church or nonprofit that you believe in. All right. Hopefully this was some food for thought. I'll see you Wednesday, where I'll take more of your questions that you can send to me either on my Pain to Progression Facebook page or my email at pain2progression@gmail.com. So that's pain2progression@gmail.com, the number 2, which I'll add on my show notes. Now, guys, this information is for you to use and grow financially, but it's also for you to share with whoever you feel may need this. Let's all take this information and flip the world upside down. See you on the top, guys. Bye.
The world turned upside down.
Before I go to the outro, I want to say something. I know I've been talking about COVID-19, and it's a really scary time. We don't know what's going to happen. People are losing their jobs. People are not being able to pay bills. And I want to mention something to you guys. Like, you've been through worse. You've been ignored by the government. You've been poor. You've been through a situation where you didn't know where you were going to pay rent. You've lost electricity. You've went through death. And through all of that, you've come out a boss. So I don't want you to forget about that struggle you've been through, and I want you to know that this will pass, as cheesy as that sounds, and you will come out winning. Like, that's what you do. So let's keep grinding, and in a few months when this just gets better, we can just laugh at this, all right? All right, let's drop that outro now.
The world turned upside down. The world turned upside down.